Whale shit hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BRP TV and the Southern Tier Elite Series presented by Cacti Fabrication, welcome to the virtual Lucas Oil Speedway. There's two of them in this world, and one of them is in Indianapolis. The other is in the very small town of Wheatland, Missouri, and we are here virtually tonight for the Midwest Shootout. Joe Donahue and Jonathan Howe up in the booth to bring you a 40-lap feature race at the end of this program. Tonight, we are about 3.5 minutes from the end of the practice session to let the whole field go out and get the grips of this wonderful racetrack. Jonathan, we've been here in the past. We've seen some absolutely fantastic races coming from this track with the BRP iRacing Series, with the Murder iRacing Series, and we're bringing a fairly tight championship battle, maybe not so close for number 1 to number 2, but the rest of the way down the order are coming into a very racy racetrack to keep that championship run going in this third race of the season.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? This is kind of an opportunity, I would say, for Gary Edwards to even stretch out that much further. He comes into the night with a 14-point gap back to Anthony Perego, who won our opening week but kind of struggled last week. So we'll see what Anthony's got in store, if he can rebound and get back in the fight. But, you know, you've got 4 drivers under a 5-point blanket from second to fifth in points. And then, you know, we've got a couple drivers tied 40 points back inside the top 10. There's a lot of drivers who are all kind of stacked up on top of each other, which makes sense this early in the season that things are as tight as they are. And we kind of saw the field go in a blender last week, Joe. A lot of the guys who were dominant in week 1, we're looking at one of them, Isaac Salas, you know, had himself a bit of a rough week in week 2. Does he bounce back? Will it be other drivers that we haven't seen get towards the front come up and challenge? Maybe a guy like Cody Higbee. What can he do? Can he start making some noise? Lot more questions than answers, I would say, right now, Joe.
Absolutely agreed with that. And I'm going to add on to that pile and ask you a question, Jonathan, because we, like you said, we saw such a shift between the running order at the end of Volusia and the running order at the end in Port Royal, with the exception of Gary Edwards III. I wonder, do you think one of those two maybe gives a better idea of what you're going to see tonight. Do you think tonight's going to reflect more the track and driving style of Volusia or Port Royal?
I kind of feel like this is more of. I think we're going to see more like a Volusia style run. I think the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top. However, I will say that Lucas Oil does lend itself to some chaos. I think that is what we saw last week at Port Royal, where there was more incidents early on in the race, and that really mixed up the field. We had guys have weaker heat race events, and that put them back in the pack, and then they had to come forward. And it kind of feels like things will level out once again, but this could be the announcer jinx right off the hop, Joe.
Well, if you did, at least maybe we'll know what's going to happen. But 40 Laps is your feature event tonight, and the Southern Tier Elite Series presented by Cacti Fabrication is about 30 seconds away from getting to it. You'll see on the left side of your screen, Bo Kerbo is fastest currently in the number 05 scored machine, and then the two Roselli brothers, two of the strongest drivers in this series and from last year as well, are also in the top three, with Kenny Coe there as well. I have not seen yet, Jonathan, I have not seen Perego. I don't know if he's going to make the call here, as we've got 5 seconds to go for qualifying.
Yeah, that could be a big shakeup towards the top of the standings, as well as if Perego's not going to be a part of it. But the Roselli boys being up towards the front, that's got to give them a lot of confidence. They're right there in the championship battle. And a guy who's kind of been sneaky, quiet, sitting there fifth fastest in practice, Hunter Lapp. We'll keep an eye on that 60 car throughout the night. I feel like he could be one of those drivers just waiting to make some noise.
Oh, Hunter Lapp definitely could. He had a great run at Port Royal last week, and looks like he's getting things together a little bit better these days. We've got qualifying starting up, so it's going to be, I think they shortened it. It used to be 5 minutes. We're now giving 2 to go 2 laps around Lucas Oil Speedway. We'll start with our first of a couple drivers out on the racetrack. This is Chad Lackey in the 66 car. Haven't given him any airtime yet, as this is I believe this is his first appearance of the season. He did not run with us at Volusia, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't at Port Royal either. So this is the red and yellow number 66. Chad Lackey is going to put his first time up on the board, as Matt DeRitter only momentarily had the fastest time. Cole Henschel beats it out. Chad Lackey sits fourth. Jonathan, here's Cole Henschel.
I was going to say, Cole missed the first week's race, but that win immediately vaulted him up into the standings. Still 14th, 53 points back. So, yeah, he's got some work to do, but if he's going to have the pace like we saw last week at Port Royal, then there's no reason that we can't expect to see Henschel get back in the championship battle. Isaac Solis looking for a bounce back, and he breaks the 15-second barrier, goes 14.993 to go top of the board.
We got Brian Lawson on the screen right here. He's got 8th quick on his first lap. In his second lap is going to be a little bit slower, so he's going to stay where he is. Dylan Smith just goes to 7th on the board as well in the 15S. One of the drivers we're expecting to see some good things out of this season. Kenny Coe jumped to 2nd, actually has an identical time to Cole Henschel, so we're going to go down to the 4th digit, and I'm assuming iRacing knows what that number is, even though we can't return it here on the screen. So really close between those two. And everybody's put a time up. Everybody has completed their run. So the timer's going to run out, Jonathan, and it's going to be Isaac Salas at the top of the board over Cole Henschel in 3rd, Kenny Coe's 2nd, and Gary Edwards and Matt Schultz. Matt Schultz got top 5 in qualifying. That's pretty impressive for him.
Yeah, impressive run indeed. Kenny Coe, too, another one that has not had the start to the year that I would expect him to have, but a lot of speed already. Seems like, anyways. We'll see what that 22 has later on in the night.
We'll see. So we had 26 drivers come out tonight. So we're going to have 3 heat races. The first one's going to have 9 drivers in it. And Jonathan, I promised you a surprise before the broadcast. The surprise is, if you've been a longtime follower of BRP TV, you'll know that we have not been the world's greatest at bringing you starting grid graphics. But I found a little burp in the programming of our systems. And
look at that.
It's looking like it's still burping because it's got some stuff overlaying here, but yeah.
I mean, it looks somewhat okay on my end. I know we got a little bit of a mess up with the Boker Bo name there, but beyond that, pretty good.
It's actually pulling numbers from Oh, what the heck is it
The
doing?
other heats.
I don't. Well, no, this is our grid, with the exception of Dean Reynolds. I don't know what it's doing. All right, well, good test. I guess it's still busted. Nonetheless.
So close.
Oh, I was so close. I got him all hyped up, too. Before the broadcast, I was like, Jonathan, I've got a treat for you. I've got a surprise to bring you in the broadcast, but I don't want to tell you what it is because I don't want to ruin the surprise. And then it wasn't, it didn't go anyway. Bummer. Anyway, Isaac Salas is going to run the pole in the first heat race of the night. On his outside is going to be Gary Edwards III. Everybody in the points championship is not going to want to see that. You've got Dylan Smith and Brian Lawson behind them. Richard Ritchie on the inside and Brendan Finley on the outside in row number 3. Row number 4 is Dominic Roselli and Hunter Lapp. And then Matt DeRitter pulls up the tail. He will run shotgun. There's some fast drivers at the tail of this one, so this is going to be an interesting first heat race as they are underway, Jonathan. Oh, look out.
Nope. Got contact already. I believe that's Smith that went around. He'll be in trouble to start the night. That's not what Dylan Smith was looking for. Meanwhile, another stacked heat here with two heavy hitters at the front, Salas and the 21 of Gary Edwards, your points leader coming into the night. He will do what he has done all season long and get back towards the front and lead this one early.
So it is Isaac Salas chasing Gary Edwards right now as Edwards runs the top side. Everybody looks like they're going to. You've got Brian Lawson in third place back there, and coming around on the outside, Gary Edwards holds strong. Check back
Tap to the wall there, looked like.
Yeah, we're going to check back a little bit here. We've got Brian Lawson in third, and then we have Brendan Finley trying to defend from Dominic Roselli. The 80 car getting really out of whack up on the outside of the racetrack. Looks like turns 1 and 2 have a bumpy top side right now, Jonathan, that Roselli can't really get the hang on. And he unfortunately falls back off of the number J7 car. He scored as the 007, but he is still in the transfer. Oh, Lord, he's still going all over the place.
Yeah, same spot, too. It's really strange that Roselli, it's like he can't get the car to rotate through the middle, especially in 1 and 2. Not so bad that time through 3 and 4, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, Joe, we did mention 3 heats, so I believe that means we'll be taking 5 from each?
Yeah, so based off of what happened at Volusia, 5 from each heat race, and then we're going to bring the rest of them in from the B main, which we've got 26 coming out tonight, so we should see 2 go home from the consolation. Should be a 10-lap consolation at the end of these heat races. Gary Edwards, at the moment, as he comes to the white flag, is not too worried about that, though, Jonathan.
No, he is not. And again, this is a heavy group of drivers. Edwards, Salas, Lawson, Finley, and it looks like Dominic Roselli might be in the catbird seat here. Salas is not going to get there. Edwards is going to take the checkered flag in the heat and maximize the points in this one. And 5th across the line, there it is. Dominic Roselli, I believe, locks himself into the show with that one. And, man, Hunter Lapp, I shouted him out early, Joe, but maybe I gave him the curse there because he will have to come from the B main.
He will have to come from the B main, so we'll have to see, because there's going to be some stacked names in the B main from what it's looking like right now, and so we'll just let's try to get in, see who comes from the second heat race into that B main, and which 5 drivers will qualify themselves into the 40-lap feature from here. Pole sitter, I'm going to try this one more time just to see if it works. It does not. Okay, I just wanted to see if it would work a second time. Kenny Coe going to roll from the front row on the inside, fastest qualifier of this crew. He will be on the inside of the Reese's number 24 of Matthew Schultz. So Schultz showed some speed at Port Royal early in the feature last week. We'll see what he's got for us tonight. Michael Vitale in the 213 goes from the inside of row number 2. Easy to spot in yellow, and he will be to the inside of a multi-time champion of big block racing that we have broadcasted over the years. The Iceless number 97 is Cody Higbee. He's back in those colors that he had for Volusia, Port Royal, with that one-off livery, and he will be starting in 4th place. 5th place is Jeff Sharp, the number 28 car, a sharp-looking machine we're used to seeing here. The Scotty's Designs Bowers Auto Body Shop machine goes from the inside of row number 3 to his outside will be another white car, the number 71 of Edward Owens. Then on the inside of row 4, you've got Chad Lackey in the number 66, premiering that car for us here on screen, and Jesse Hedges to his outside in that black, number 33. Rolling shotgun on this field, number 12, is going to be Mikey Horton, who we've seen in some B mains, but he's gotten his way in before. He's raced his way into the features, and he's going to have to do it again by the looks of it. He's going to at least have to race himself up to the front if he wants to transfer in this heat race. So 5 drivers will advance from 8 laps, and they come into the starting zone, and Kenny Ko has the go, and the green flag is out.
Green flag is out. Ko out front. Higbee trying to move forward already, challenging the 24 for the 3rd spot. Now you see that Reese's 24 moving towards the front. Schultz moving up
we got a
on
spin
the outside.
behind him.
We got trouble at the back.
Got a spin behind him. That's Chad Lackey backwards there, trying to get a hold of him. Edward Owens and Mikey Horton got held up as the 66 car. I think he looks okay, but just got completely sent way hayside out of here. And that's a tough break. That's a tough way to start it off, Jonathan.
No, it's not the way you want to start the evening, and it looks like we've kind of got a split in the pack because of that. I think our front 5 are basically kind of on an island by himself. You can see Jeff Sharp's got a little bit of breathing room back there, holding it down in the final transfer spot ahead of the 33, but that battle is narrowing up.
Yep, that's Jesse Hedges in the 33 car you're watching on screen right here. He's trying to catch up to this 28 machine. Jeff Sharp, and then you've got Cody Higbee, Matthew Schultz, and Michael Vitale racing in front of them. Vitale has the lead of this group. Kenny Ko has the lead of the heat race. Matthew Schultz to the outside here, and Schultz is really getting close to that berm that exists up there in 1 and 2 as well as 3 and 4. I think it's a little bit more prominent in 3 and 4. There is like a weird berm and then some extra racetrack above it. If you can see, Matthew Schultz is going to get right up to it, but just outside where all of the loose stuff is, it actually has an embankment that you can go over. So if you're thinking they're going to go any higher, you're probably wrong, at least in tonight's racing with the way these modifieds run. You don't want to go over that berm and try to catch it up. 1 lap to go.
There might be more that you can push up, right, Joe? But I feel like we've kind of seen the maximum amount of what we're going to see through 1 and 2 on this final lap. Kenny Ko out front, and Vitale comfortably there in 2nd. He will make a challenge, not get there, Joe. But, yeah, I'm really curious about how that turn 1 and 2 is going to develop throughout the night, and if they can find a way to push that groove up a little bit higher, and who goes a little too high.
We'll have to see. I think if I recall correctly, we saw that in the past with the BRPR Racing Series. But Kenny Ko...
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it. Kenny Ko is going to be your 2nd Hig Fab Chassis Heat Race winner this evening, and we will get into the final group. There are only 8 drivers in this one, and the pole sitter should scare everybody behind him because the pole sitter is the defending winner from last time in car number 3, Cole Henschel. To his outside, though, is Anthony Roselli, who's been strong here in the past, and he will go on the outside in the Van Sickle Electric, number 7. You've got Dean Reynolds. The Super Dirt Car Series number 79 is in some new paint tonight, looking sharp, goes to the inside of row number 2. And on the outside will be Bo Kerbo, who was our fastest driver in practice earlier. Jason Henry in car number 171 will go from the inside of row number 3, and to his outside is going to be Austin Smith in the 14S car, old school looking, and Anthony Vitale on the inside of row number 4 in the 1X. To his outside will be the 883 of Bud Molyneux. Some shiny stuff on the side of the 883, but Cole Henschel up starting at the front, Jonathan. He's got Anthony Roselli beside him, but he really showed up and showed out at Port Royal last week. I would be nervous to be trying to pass that 3 car.
Man, I feel like it's going to be tough sledding with him up towards the front for the field. Now, if anybody's going to try it, I feel like Dirk Cardine, he's looking for a little bit of redemption. He had a great run going last week at Port Royal, and car went away on him. I saw it back in our groups that he was talking about. Handling just kind of went away on him. We'll see what tonight brings, but expect that 79 of Dirk Cardine to be on it here, get himself in the show, and maybe make some noise.
We'll see what happens here as Cole Henschel actually does not get that great of a start off of it. He's going to have the inside line, but Anthony Roselli, same problem that we saw his brother have. He gets tight in the middle of the corner, and he fades away, and that's going to give Cole Henschel the lead, but you were right, Jonathan. Oh, look out. We got Vitale in. Wow, look out, look out, look out. Oh, we got a wheel off? Oh, no.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, man. Bo Kerbo is off the racetrack. All right, so we're going to stay green here because he got out of the way, but tough break for Beau Curbeau. Right as it starts, he is at the tail, and he's going to be at the tail of the B main because of that. Man, that was a shame to see that. Anthony Roselli jumped back a good ways, and then, unfortunately for Bud Molyneux and Jason Henry, that really took him out of contention there, Jonathan.
Something to keep an eye on, too. Beau Curbeau came into tonight top 10 in the points. So if he can't make it through that B main, which is already looking to be maybe one of the most loaded B mains that you will ever see in iRacing, man, this is going to be an intense show. But we've got 5 laps to settle this thing to see who's going to join him in the B main and who is going to make the main show. Henschel out front right now, ahead of Reynolds, who's settled into second. Then it's Vitali in the 1, who's up to P3. And looking for more as he and Reynolds tangle up off the corner. And now that's brought Anthony Roselli back into the fight. And there it is. There's Vitali jumping that little cushion, like you say, Joe.
Yep, that berm there just went up and over for the 1X. And now Anthony Roselli back into the grips of the 79 of Dirt Car Dean. 2 laps to go at the stripe for the Van Sickle Electric to the outside of the Super Dirt Car Series 79. And neither of them are within reach of Cole Henschel, but I think at this point it's just going to be a hold on and hope for the best as the 1 to go presented by Precision Engine Service comes out for the number 3 of Cole Henschel. He's looking to take another checkered flag as he got the 1 at Port Royal. And down the backstretch, Jonathan, he's got no contention from behind.
Yeah, it is all Cole Henschel, all by himself, completely out front of this one. And he's going to take that checkered flag ahead of Dirt Car Dean. Dean Reynolds will finish second. Roselli hangs on for third. Vitali bounces back to hold on to fourth. And Henry in the 171 finds a way to make the show in yet another stacked heat race. B main time.
B main time. We're excited. Here we go. So 10 laps in the consolation. And this is your starting lineup. Starting on the pole, from the inside, number 60 machine. That is the New York Stamped Asphalt 209 Storage Vault machine of Hunter Lapp. Had a good run at Port Royal last time. He will be to the inside of Jesse Hedges in car 33, just 1 spot out, and he will go from the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 sees Austin Smith on the inside with the 14S, and Richard Ritchie in the 406 to his outside. Richard Ritchie has yet to qualify into a feature race this season. This is his first solid starting position chance in a B main to get there. Mikey Horton starts 5th in the 12 car. He will go from the inside of row number 3. Bud Molyneux in the 883 to his outside. You've got Matt DeRitter in 7th on this grid in the Murder Graphics MDR Designs Inkville Company number 03. And to his outside will be the number 71 of Edward Owens, all white there. And then you've got Beau Curbeau starting 9th. In the 5 on your screen, it will be scored as the 05. Tough break to start things off for him tonight, but he is the final car that starts in a transfer position. Going back from there, you've got the 15S of Dylan Smith, his brother starting up towards the front. He is starting towards the back. And then you've got Chad Lackey in his first attempt to try to make a feature. He will go from 11th, and all he's got to do is pass 2 cars. But, Jonathan, I don't really know which 2 cars to pick for him to pass because he's got a hell of a group of guys here in this consolation to pass.
Yeah, this is going to be an intense showdown and no room for error amongst the front of this one. If you are a contender, if you want to make the show, you got to just keep it clean and green we go. 10 laps will settle who is making the big show here for 40 laps at Lucas Oil Speedway. And whoa, there's what I'm talking about, Joe. It almost got hairy right off the hop
it's
between
getting
our
hairy.
front row, and it's still getting hairy at the back.
We got 4 wide, now 3 wide down the front straightaway as we finish the first lap. Richard Ritchie, Beau Curbeau, and Chad Lackey. Lackey goes all the way to the bottom. He's got about 3 passes in that one turn. Bud Molyneux contact with Edward Owens, and he's going to drop back as well. And I think Bud Molyneux is in the wall and upside down in turn 3. Tough break for Bud if he can get that thing rolling, but I don't know if we're going to see a yellow maybe. It's not out yet. As Hunter Lapp just gets into turn number 3, Bud Molyneux really got screwed there.
Yeah, that's a tough break. You would love to see a yellow flag there for a reset or maybe, just to be able to collect things. Whoa, and they're still beating and banging. towards the back of the field here. Look at Dylan Smith trying to find his way forward in this one and get into a transfer spot.
Yep, Dylan Smith is still on the outside looking in. Edward Owens has hit about everything except the pace car in this consolation race, and he's still 3 wide with Richard Ritchie and Bo Kerbo on his outside. Now he's got Dylan Smith looking on the inside. This is a hell of a battle as we're about to be halfway through this consolation. Hunter Lap leads Matt DeRitter all the way up to second, but this 4-driver group here, this is the action right now. This is to get into the feature.
Yeah, This is where you want to be, and hang on to it there. I think that was Kerbo that bounced around, and then Smith looks like he was able to avoid just enough, but now Smith is going to have to get on the offense here as that cost him a little bit of time when he had to check up and avoid the car in front of him, which was, hang on, we got more cars stacking up here, and I can't even keep straight.
Austin Smith goes around, contact there with Kerbo. Edward Owens bounced off of him a few times too there. Man, it is argy-bargy for these consolation transfers right now, Jonathan.
Yeah, and Kerbo has the last spot based on my last view of the transponders here as they were going through the line. Man, I don't know how this is going to play out here in this last couple laps. It seems like these guys are getting awfully desperate.
It looks like it. Up at the front, not quite the same story. Hunter Lap pretty easily holding on to this one. Chad Lackey did a hell of a job. He started in last in this consolation. He is up to second on the 1 to go presented by Precision Engine Service. He's definitely going to get in. Maybe not getting all the way to the front, but what a run from the 66 car as Hunter Lap is going to win this consolation.
Lap, Lackey, DeRitter is in. And it looks like the last transfer spot will go to Kerbo, and Molyneux and Austin Smith are going home, unfortunately.
Damn. Well, I'll tell you what. Richard Ritchie got in. It was exciting. But a tough break for those guys. And I just feel so bad for them because, I don't know. I mean, Edward Owens hit about everything out there. That was just unfortunate to see. It was great racing, but, man, I feel so bad for those guys when that's what happens that you don't get into the feature.
And we'd have to check on it, but I'm not sure. Maybe caution flags are off for our consolation, which I can understand too, because you can turn 10 laps into 10 hours really quick with some of the action that can happen in consolation races. But yeah, no cautions really were a tough break for some of those guys that got bounced around and ended up at the back of the field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're into a 5-minute warm-up session. So the whole field's been sent out onto the racetrack to work it in a little bit of track prep here before we get into our 40-lap feature race. While we have a second, we can run through the presenting sponsors and partners of BRP TV and the Southern Tier Elite Series to give them some spotlight in this program this evening. And we can start with Cacti Fabrication. Cacti Fabrication is the presenting sponsor of the inaugural Southern Tier Elite Series season, and they are presenting the Cacti Cup to our champion at the end. Thank you for joining the Southern Tier Series and putting this show on tonight. BRP TV, that's us. Your go-to for all live coverage of the Southern Tier Elite Series is here on the BRP TV YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get the notifications every time we go live for the 10 races in this season. HigFab Chassis, the modified chassis gurus at HigFab Chassis are presenting the heat race wins for every event this season. They're based out of upstate New York. Check them out on Facebook if you're looking to get into or step up your game in dirt modified racing. Precision Engine Service, located in Middletown, New York, specializes in providing high-quality rebuilt engines and engine components. Precision Engine Service ensures quality and reliability in their stock replacements of your high-performance engines. Savage House Performance is the iRacing team Savage House Racing. They embody the working man spirit of the Southern Tier Elite Series, and they are excited to present this series to you. You can follow Savage House Racing on Facebook to keep up with their drivers and follow them across all of their own iRacing events. We also want to thank Vertex Graphics for coming on board. Vertex Graphics has been supplying some good-looking stuff in the Discord of the Southern Tier Elite Series to let these drivers share their excitement and passion for not only this series, but racing in general. You can go check Vertex Graphics out. Murder Graphics Custom graphics for all your racing-related needs come from Murder Graphics. So hero cards, posters, social media posts, much more. You can contact Matt with Murder Graphics, Matt DeRitter, the one racing in this series, at mrdrgraphics.com and see how he can help you out with your own killer style. The MDR Designs crew, that is also Matt DeRitter and MDR Designs. They do all of the branding needs you could possibly need. 10-plus years of experience, MDR Designs can help you discover, design, and succeed with branding that lasts. Contact MDR Designs at mdrdesignsllc.com. The Inkvine Company, looking to grow your business with a custom website or capture a local audience? Contact the Inkvine Company and explore the right options for your business. Now accepting new clients, you can find them at inkvineco.com. Creative Turnings is based out of Connecticut. They offer wood and acrylic household items such as pens, bowls, candlesticks, charcuterie boards, and much more. Custom homemade products, great for gift giving this time of year especially, and for home decor. Head over to their Facebook page to learn more. 47 Technology, developed at home. 47 Technology is the hookup for 3D printed ornaments, trophies, diorama accessories, and more. You can check out 47 Technology on Etsy to see what's in stock and trick out your holiday season. And, of course, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, a podcast hosted by Jonathan Howe, available on all streaming service platforms. Listeners can expect to find interviews with some of the biggest names in dirt modified, sprint car, and other local stock car series from Southern Ontario. The show will be launching in a new format in the not-so-distant future, so you're going to want to stay tuned for more details on that. Go check them out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at. And those are the partners and everybody who gets along with us here for the Southern Tier Elite Series. Jonathan, I don't know if you were watching through the warm-up, if it reflected any information that you might want to carry into the feature, but what are you expecting tonight, especially considering how used up the track already is?
I think the one thing that's going to help the fact that the track is used up is the fact that the sun is going down. Something kind of new to our BRP TV broadcasts is I don't think we've ever really used active time and weather in any of the leagues that we've had in the past. So with the track changing with less sun on it, maybe just a little bit of moisture will stay in it. Anything that there is moisture in might be able to hang on to it a little bit more. But you can see it is pretty glassy in some spots around this surface already, Joe. And that is going to make for slick racing, not a lot of grip. Going to have to be careful through these corners here. It could get treacherous at any point.
It could indeed. And since this is a 40-lap feature, the invert for the top drivers in the starting grid is a 6-position invert. I think it's 8, actually. My apologies. It is 8. So your pole sitter is not one of the cars that we said so far tonight as one of the absolute fastest, but never count out the number 97 Iceless Machine of Cody Higbee. He will roll, well, he's blinking in and out now, but he will roll from the inside of the front row with Brendan Finley in the J7 to his outside. He's known as the Flame Kid, and the guy who told me that was the guy who starts in third place, Dean Reynolds in the Dirt Car Series number 79. We'll go to the inside of the 213 of Michael Vitale. Starting in row number 3, you've got another Super Dirt Car Series sponsored car, but this is the number 5 of Isaac Salas. And to his outside will be the number 3 last time's winner of Cole Henschel. On the inside of row number 4, you've got the number 22E, that's Kenny Coe, fast driver from the past. He is looking to get his first win in the Southern Tier Elite Series. But he's going to start on the inside of the only driver to be on the podium in both of the last 2 races, Gary Edwards III. From there backwards, you've got Anthony Roselli and Brian Lawson in row 5. Row 6 has Matthew Schultz and Anthony Vitale. Then you've got Dominic Roselli, Jeff Sharp, Jason Henry, Hunter Lapp, Chad Lackey, Matt DeRitter, Jesse Hedges, Mikey Horton, Richard Ritchie III, Dylan Smith, Edward Owens, Bo Kerbo. 24 drivers, 40 laps, green flag is out, let's go racing.
Well done, Joe. Way to get through that one, and way to get through the first corner. Cody Higbee nosing ahead, trying to make the move on Finley for the top spot in this one. And it was a pretty scrambled start at the back of the field, and I was kind of expecting that. And it's Anthony Roselli headed to the pit.
I don't know if I was expecting Anthony Roselli. I mean, yeah, maybe something, but not Anthony Roselli, Jonathan.
I expected there to be a caution, but I did not expect it to be Anthony Roselli that was involved in this one. We're going to have to go back and take a look, but they were stacking up, coming to the green at the back of the field, and this one's going to take place basically in the middle of the end of the top 10.
Yeah, that's tough, too, because that's just in front of everybody behind him. Obviously, it's in front of everybody behind him, but it's in the middle of the field, and for the guys who start more towards the tail, this is the type of thing you do not want to see. This is the biggest fear that you have going into turn number 1. So it looks like coming into the corner, Kenny Coe backed it up a little bit more than Roselli probably expected, and then Schultz came in a little too quick compared to the 7 car. Very light, easy contact between them. Looks like Jason Henry got a little bit of it too. Matthew Schultz. Horton trying to avoid as well, but really, we shouldn't see any significant damage to any of these cars, and I wouldn't expect to see anything really too tough out of that. That's just a little small racing incident off of the start there, Jonathan.
Yeah, and you know what? It looks like Anthony Roselli is going to get his spot back here. I think, yeah, it looks like he's back up inside the top 10, Joe. So,
but
I guess maybe are they ruling that a no start with no lap complete, or I'm not sure how that's going to play.
I don't know.
It looks like Schultz is going to the back.
Yep.
So maybe a penalty handed out here.
Yep. Looks like Schultz got sent to the tail as we get back to racing again, and they are going to count that first lap. So it is on to lap number 2 here in Lucas Oil Speedway's Midwest Shootout. Higbee leads Dean Reynolds. Isaac Salas looking to the inside here, trying to get back to show you this battle as the 5 car goes to the inside of Dirt Car Dean, and we are underway.
We'll have to keep an eye on how Reynolds can last through the race. Remember, last week had a pretty solid car up inside the top 5, top 10, and then the car faded on him late. And now Anthony Roselli, after getting new life, he's trying to knock on the door of a top 5. He's involved in a 3-wide battle there. I think that's Vitali in the middle, and there's the 3 car up on the outside, last week's winner.
Yep, there's the number 7 on the inside, and there's no banking down there, but Vitali in the middle and Cole Henschel trying to squeeze in on the 213 car. A little bit of contact there. They're almost about 5 wide out of turn number 2. Kenny Coe and Finley right beside each other in 2 black and white cars with red numbers as we continue on down the front straightaway here. I want to take a peek further back in the field. He asked nicely before the broadcast, so we're going to give a little bit of spotlight and go on board with the 03 of Matt DeRitter as we try to get the grips of what it's like out there on the racetrack, Jonathan, when you're so far back in this traffic.
Yeah, and you know what? It is not as wide as it might appear. It really is a track that can get tight when you get 2 cars side by side. Anytime you get 3 side by side, it can get really sketchy through the corners of Lucas Oil right there. Big hit as yellow. I think we've got a caution on our hands.
Yes, we are under yellow, and I think it's Dylan Smith. That's not Dylan Smith. That's Cody Higbee, but we're going to try to see what... Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Dylan Smith is stuck. Nope, that's not Dylan Smith either. He is stuck on a tire. And I think Edward...
you don't see that all that often.
Hold on. We're going to stay with this. Edward Owens was coming to save you, Dylan. Oh, unreal. He was getting there. But, all right, let's get the replay back and check out what happened to Dylan. It's going to take a minute. Here we go. All right. So, into turn 1, he is all on his own. And he's doing a good job getting all the way down to the bottom there, Jonathan, but I think he's going to just get a... Oh, I see what happens.
Yep. There it is. Mm-hmm. Nowhere for Dylan to go. And then, right down on top of the 71. And then Schultz gets a piece of it as well. And then, well, you can't park there.
Darn it. That's tough.
That was just a tough racing deal there where Smith had a run and it ends up on the wrong side of a tire barrier there. But I almost thought for a second we were going to see something close to what happened to Matt DeRitter. Anytime you have those tires down there in the bottom side of the racetrack, they really can jam up a field really quick.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, hey, Cody Higbee, this is kind of more of the same for what Cody Higbee's been used to with the Murder iRacing Series and PRP in the past, with this kind of go and stop type of racing. It happens once in a while. Isaac Salas to his outside. We'll see if Salas can hold out Jonathan. He's been up there at the front at Volusia and Port Royal. He just can't stay. He doesn't seem to have it to stay there over the course of the feature races. So maybe tonight turns it around, but you don't want to say that too early. But he is up there.
It's early, but lots of time left. And I think this could be one of those nights where you do want to be towards the front of the field. I think you can avoid a lot of chaos if you can stay up at the front.
Absolutely agreed with that, as I was expecting we were going to get the one to go that time, but it appears maybe one more for Cody Higbee and the rest of the field before we get the one to go signal and then go back to green flag racing. I think they're just trying to get things figured out with Dylan Smith getting back out on the racetrack, and probably I assume he's going to stay one lap down, which right now he is one lap down. He scored that way, and then we will get back to green. Or maybe not. Maybe he will get that lap back because he had to reset. That's why he would potentially have that. But they lined up their double file. If we for some reason have a yellow come straight off this restart, we will go to single file, but nonetheless, in the meantime, the Iceless Handsome Devil Barbecue number 97 leads us back, and we are back to green flag racing again with an absolutely diabolical slide in from the bottom, and Cody Higbee diamonds off the corner to continue holding that race lead.
I would not want to be the rest of this field with Cody Higbee out in front, man. That is a dangerous situation for the rest of this field if anybody wants to challenge for the win. Although Salas is trying to make something happen on the outside of this racetrack, he might be able to get the run down the front stretch here to pull up. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And instead, it looks like Higbee's going to be able to cover off that position, as there's definitely, I think, some speed on the outside of this racetrack. Now look at Salas takes it at the lead, or at the line, Joe. He takes the lead. Now Higbee fighting back on the inside. This battle far from done. I thought the inside would prevail, but it looks like Isaac on the outside has got something cooking.
Yes, we are a quarter of the way into this feature. You are right, Jonathan. Isaac Salas has found a little bit of extra up top. The bottom just isn't doing it right now, and this is going to be the number 5 show, at least for the time being. There was enough of a gap for Cody Higbee to jump in. He stays in front of Dean Reynolds. As they come to the stripe again, it is Isaac Salas leading the way. There's a bit more of a slum once you get into 5th place, 6th place, 7th place. That's what you see on your screen right here. Cole Henschel holding on to the top 5. Is Kenny Coe right behind him. We got a little bit of a traffic jam up there, Jonathan. Everybody wants to be running on the top side right now. Looks like it has the advantage, but once people get stacked up like that, you start getting way too close for comfort, and that looks like exactly what's happening right here. Vitali got the wall on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that was a hairy moment there. A little love tap from Gary Edwards. Nothing major, nothing ill about that move. Just kind of everybody running for the same real estate here. Now, I would say, Joe, I think what's going to happen, we're going to see a couple things. We're going to see maybe the top side of the racetrack burn off, and we're going to start to see some drivers not be able to drive on that outside line. And as I think we've got a caution here.
We do. Matthew Schultz going to bring out the yellow. And we are going to have to figure out what happened to this number 24 car, as we are under yellow again. We're 14 laps into this race. Is that the 3rd or 4th, Jonathan? I lost count.
I believe it's the third. I want to say.
All right, let's get this replay back and see what happened. All right, and there's a wheel gone, and there's contact
with Horton.
It's that same.
Ooh.
It's that same tire that Dylan Smith had his issue with, but just contact with the inside there from the contact on the outside put that car too low, and he's into the tire and lost his own.
Yeah, tough way to go there for Schultz. I mean, not much you can do about that. That's just one of those racing deals, and that's what happens here at Lucas Oil, right, is that we can run out of real estate really quick when you're trying to stay off of each other. You're trying to make something happen on the low side of the racetrack. I think we all can establish, or we all know that it's been established, that the outside is where you want to be to make speed. But if everybody's running the high side, Joe, somebody's going to have to get low, and somebody's going to have to get right down near those tires, and that's going to open the door for some maybe sketchy incidents here. Interesting. I didn't think Salas would take the inside line, but he will, and he'll get the jump and run it down the hill coming to the front stretch.
Man, they won't pull it back for him jumping the start, because I don't believe he did, but he had a fantastic run down the hill. You're right, Jonathan, and he was able to jump right back up to the top side as they go into 3 and 4 again off the restart and back to the stripe. It is Isaac Salas leading once again, but the yellow flag comes out right away, and I don't know. I think it's for Matt DeRitter. I think it is for Matt DeRitter in the 03 car.
Tough break for our boy here. It looks like that car's crab walking, some probably serious suspension damage to the 03. What happened here? Oh, it's on already in front of him.
Mm-hmm. That's the two Vitalis, and then Dylan Smith comes into it as well, and Matt DeRitter was involved, but just the last one to get away from the scene. But yeah, Michael and Anthony Vitali getting into it. Let's hit the replay button back one more time and see if we can figure out what happened with these guys.
There's Vitali, gets run over by Edwards, and it's kind of like what I was talking about, Joe, is that we're going to start to see some guys not be able to... Oh, that was a pretty solid hit to Edwards. I wonder how much damage he's going to have.
Yeah.
And then, nothing Anthony can do.
Him and Jeff Sharp, too. Sharp and DeRitter both got into that pretty rough, and then Dylan Smith as well. There's a lot of cars involved in this one that should maybe have gotten some significant damage from it.
Yeah, it certainly seems so. But, this is what I was talking about, Joe, is that some drivers are not going to be able to drive that outside line all night. And that's going to lead to drivers searching around. It's also going to lead to accidents where some guys are committed to making speed on the outside, and they're going to run up on other guys. Looks like we're going to go single file for this restart after some of the chaos that we've seen on these ones so far. And that could make things interesting even in terms of lap traffic here, Joe, as the field's not going to be stacked up as far. Will Isaac Salas maybe have a chance to start running down some of the cars towards the back? He gets another great jump on Higbee. Higbee slides it through the middle there. Reynolds still trying to hang on to third. Here comes the 3-car of Henschel. Henschel's going to make the move for the podium spot. He might get 2 here as he slides up underneath Higbee. Can't make it stick. Can't hang on to third. Reynolds back to it for now.
Oh, I hate to say it, but Cody Higbee had a... Oh, my gosh. Hensel just threw it in so hard in front of Dean Reynolds right there. And it stuck because he ran off the bumper, but... that was not a good start at all off the restart for Cody Higbee, and that really let Isaac Salas capitalize. Now, behind them, you've got Cole Henschel, and this whole slum behind there of the... It looked like Dominic was in here for a minute, but you've got Anthony Roselli on the inside of the J7 of Brendan Finley. There's Gary Edwards coming into the picture, Dean Reynolds as well, Kenny Coe right there in the 22E. So we got a bit of a mess coming on halfway through this feature in just a few laps. And Isaac Salas out front, just starting to get closed in on again by Cody Higbee, and he's trying to maybe make up for the lost time off that restart.
We talked a little bit about Anthony Roselli at the start of the night, having that rough shot, kind of got back up in there after the penalty was assessed. He's hanging on to it. I talked about Gary Edwards picking up some damage maybe in that last incident. He's our points leader. Some of the guys towards the top 5. They're still having solid nights up inside the top 10 in the running order right now. And there goes one car around. I think that was Finley that may have got tagged from Edwards. And another car involved there.
Yellow flag's going to come out.
Caution will wave. It's Lawson gets a piece of it.
Darn, tough break for the J7. He was in a pretty solid position right there. I'm going to pull back the replay and check out what happened to Finley. Unfortunately for us tonight, Jonathan, is one of those nights where you get a lot of incidents by the looks of things.
Yeah, you know what? Some nights are a little more chaotic than others. It's going to happen, and I think this is just everybody wanting to go for that same real estate, right? Finley runs up on Roselli. He has to lift. Edwards doesn't realize how much he's going to lift. Tags him there.
Yep.
Good dodge. Oof. And then Lawson just could not get out of the way fast enough.
Yeah, not so lucky for Lawson, as he will slide into this J7 car, sitting backwards. Dylan Smith barely avoids it, Matthew Schultz too. But yeah, tough break for those guys kind of inside the top 10. And Finley was having a pretty solid night up to that point. Unfortunately, it's going to send him backwards just past halfway too. That's another thing. It's like, if you have this happen at the very beginning, Jonathan, you can figure out a way to get back up there. But if it's going to happen late, like, it's not over, but definitely not good timing.
No, but you know what? I will say with how many incidents we've already had, yes, maybe we'll string together some laps here, but it feels like if there's going to be cautions breeding cautions, you got a chance to get back up there and at least maybe find a way towards the front. And another great restart from Salas. Higbee has just not quite been able to keep up on it. However, I will say, Joe, I've seen that 97 have some pretty good pace once we do get some green flag running. I would love to see a longer green flag run here and see if the 97 can track him down, although now he's got his hands full as here comes Henschel. And I believe another caution.
Yep, so we're right to it off the restart, and I think it's Mikey Horton who's going to bring it to us this time in the 12 car. So let's get a replay back on that one as well. ATVO being our timing and scoring being a little bit slow this evening, but let's catch the replay back of the 12 car. Here's him facing the wrong direction, so let's see it where he's facing right, and then we'll see where that goes. This is Jesse Hedges to his outside in the 33, and I wonder if he's going to get this done on his own. Maybe Dylan. Yeah, Dylan Smith's going to give him the extra tub.
And again, it's just there's just nowhere to go when if you're towards the front of a pack and you have to lift for whatever reason, there's just nowhere to go for anybody else behind you. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of cars going for not a lot of real estate.
Yeah. I don't know, Jonathan. This racetrack isn't... I know modifieds don't race here in real life.
No.
I know we had... The last time we broadcasted from this racetrack, Jonathan, it was a really good race to the line. And Cody, if I remember correctly, it was Cody Higbee winning by like just a nose. But tonight's just not really been going so hot.
No, and again, I think with it being a one-lane racetrack right now, everybody's trying to find a way as it looks like they're going to give everybody a chance to go double file once again on the next restart.
I think we got waved off here.
Oh, maybe... Are we getting Are we getting...
Yeah, we waved off the restart here, so they're going to let the pace truck come through the field, and then they'll catch up to it. Yellow flag came back out right as soon as we were about to get underway there. I'm not sure why, but that must have been race control's call to have a few extra pace laps here, Jonathan.
Yeah, maybe something at the back of the field, like somebody was out of order or something, but... Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been a strange race, Joe. I don't quite know what to make of it. I feel like we could see some really good racing if we can string together some laps, but it just seems like we've had so many chain reaction incidents where it's like you lift because maybe your car gets a little tight, a little loose, you try to make a correction, and it's going to stack guys up 3, 4 behind you, and that's where the accident's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can get a good run together here to get us to the finish. Thank you, everybody. I've seen a few people watching along with us. Says we got 25 of you watching along right at this instant. Thank you all for tuning in and enjoying the Southern Tier Elite Series here on BRP TV as we go back to Green Flag Racing. We got some Salas fans in the chat and in the house tonight, and they are surely going to be happy with what they're seeing right now as Isaac Salas controls the restart pretty easily, and he will continue to lead as we come back to the line for the first green lap in a few, to say the least.
Oh, here comes Higbee with a challenge. He'll sail it in on the inside, and looks like he just can't get the run out of the corner when you run that low lane. Henschel right there as well inside the top 3. Reynolds still hanging on to a spot in the top 4, and then 5th right now is Anthony Roselli. Up at the front, though, Salas still out front. Then it's Higbee.
I think we got a problem here, and I think it is, you're not going to believe it, is the championship leader.
It has been a rough night for Gary Edwards, who has finished second both weekends to open the season, and not likely to happen tonight, though.
Yeah, that's pretty unlikely at this point. He is going to get the fast repair, so the work gets done quickly, but into turn number 1, oh no, all on his own, Jonathan. He just went a little too deep, and the wheel came off, and up the track he went in front of Chad Lackey, and around went the 21 car. He just did that all on his own, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's an unforced error. That's a tough one. You hate to see that, but you'll have that sometimes in big-time iRacing stock car action. Man, it's just unbelievable. Is it a full moon tonight or something, Joe? I don't understand what is going on with what we have seen, but it has been a weird night with another topsy-turvy kind of situation. I mean, you're looking at the back of the pack there, Joe. 2 names. Dylan Smith, he came into the night 8th in points. Yeah. Gary Edwards, your leader coming in tonight with 14 points out in front.
Yeah.
I guess we are getting a topsy-turvy night once again. kind of like what we've seen. Each week has been a little bit different with who's going to be a front runner. Salas, he's been fast pretty much every week we've had a race so far. Higbee has not had that speed, but up there in the top 3 right now. Let's see what Higbee can do on this restart as Salas gets away from him.
Well, I'm almost tempted to say, Jonathan, like, if I was Isaac Salas, I might be okay with this because he seems to have the short run car. And I know you've called it out already. Higbee looks like his long run car is better than his short run. So for Salas, this stop and go might be a little bit better for him strategically because Cody Higbee's pretty good at this. And then Cole Henschel behind him won last week out. Dean Reynolds is no slouch either. So you can see the gap that Isaac Salas is putting up almost a second ahead of these guys right now. And this little battle that they're in is going to help him, but he might be okay with the way this has been going with this stop, go.
I feel like there's a stretch there where, Cody Higbee, he was kind of Thanos of the iRacing BRP TV coverage where he was just inevitable. He would find a way towards the front and find a way to win. And it kind of doesn't feel like this year has been the same kind of flow for him as we've got Anthony Roselli dropping back. He was up inside the top 5, and now he's lost a couple of positions as it looks like Kenny Coe's gotten by as well as Dominic Roselli, and here comes Lackey as well as the 7 car is fading.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a love tap from Kenny Coe. It was just barely visible at the top of the screen when it happened. As we hit 10 laps to go here, his brother got by him, and the 2 Van Sickle electric cars both kind of on screen. If Mom's watching tonight again, I hope she's got like a stress ball or something, because the 2 of them side by side, we've seen it time and time again. Those 2, it's the brother versus brother kind of thing, and they don't want to give each other any inches to spare. So they're up in beside each other. Isaac Salas still holds on to a second lead over Cody Higbee. 8 laps to go at the stripe for the 5 car.
Yeah, Salas has definitely found something over there the long run here. Short run, long run, doesn't seem to matter. That 5 car is in control, and this could be a big night for a guy who struggled last week, found himself in some incidents at Port Royal, and that kind of jammed up his championship chase. This could be a big way to get back into the mix here.
Chad Lackey.
As it looks like it got... Is that Lackey that's got an issue? And I don't know if this has brought out a caution. It doesn't look like it has.
Yes, it has, actually. The yellow flag didn't pop up there, but yeah, so the yellow flag didn't pop up on the ticker, but yes, Chad Lackey pulls out a yellow flag with 7 laps to go for us, and the 66 car that has had such a good run up until this point in the evening ended up stuck backwards on a tire in the infield, and we're going to get a replay back of it, but you can see he was right in the thick of things, and Kenny Coe actually is going to be the reason this happened.
Yeah, 2 drivers, 2 cars trying to go for the same amount of real estate there. Tough break. Lackey making his debut with us this week and was having a great showing. Kind of looked like Roselli had to check up. Dominic Roselli had to check up in front of Coe. Coe tried to dive to the inside to maybe avoid further contact or really running over the 80 car. And once he came down, you already had the 66 trying to come up. Tough break all around, especially with 7 laps to go in this one.
Tough break indeed, and Chad Lackey is sitting on the pit lane long term, so I wonder what the deal is if he's using a fast repair or not. Well, he's not using a fast repair, otherwise he would have done it already. So hopefully the 66 car can get back out onto the racetrack because the lights have gone out on the pace truck. Isaac Salas has to get ready for yet another restart here in front of Higbee and Henschel. And we'll have to see if Lackey does get out at all, because if not, that's a really tough way to end off this evening for him.
Yeah, you'd absolutely hate to see that, but we'll see how this one plays out, Joe. I don't know. 7 laps. I liked what I saw from the 5 car. Higbee trying to anticipate that restart. Does a much better job of staying with Salas, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to make any ground through 1 and 2 as they're jamming up behind. Henschel under fire. Here comes Reynolds looking for a spot on the podium. D. Rose up inside the top 5, and Kenny Coe knocking on the door of a top 5 finish as well.
Not quite sure where the best line to be is right now. Everybody's kind of running that slider line deep in, go high, and then ride it out of the corner. 3 wide behind Anthony Roselli, Hunter Lapp, and Kenny Coe. Nice battle in for 6th, 7th, 8th area as Higbee still holds on to 2nd place. Beau Curbeau moves into the top 10. How about that for Beau Curbeau? Last car to qualify in from the Constellation. And he's looking at a top 10 finish. 3 laps to go with the line. Cody Higbee still trying to figure out a way to catch up to this 5 car. just isn't doing it right now. He's got to find something else out there, Jonathan, if there's anything left in it for the 97.
Yeah, really searching around right now. Looks like he can run like a pretty tight corner, but he's just sacrificing so much speed up out of the corner. And I don't know if Higbee can run the outside. It looks like his car has not been able to do what the 5 car of Salas has done. And Higbee is just trying anything he can, anything a little bit different. Looks like he made up a pretty decent amount of ground there, but then gives it all back up on the straight.
Yep, Isaac Salas, surgical precision with that top side as the 1 lap to go, presented by Precision Engine Service, comes out for the Dirt Car Series sponsored number 5. He goes to the bottom side through 1 and 2. And Jonathan, I'll give it to you as he comes down the back straightaway.
Isaac Salas looking for a bounce back, and he's going to do it in a big way here at a corner 4 at Lucas Oil. The 5 car will see the checkered flag first. Isaac Salas wins it ahead of Cody Higbee and last week's winner, Cole Henschel, backing it up with a podium finish in that 3 car. Great race. Towards the end there, once we got some green flag laps, there was some good action throughout the top 5, but Isaac Salas just taking advantage of being up towards the front of the field and keeping it smooth. He'll park it in victory lane, and we'll catch up with him as well as the 97 and the 3 of Henschel coming up.
Yep, we're going to give them a quick second just to get out, get kind of settled in, and especially for us to get a hold of them in the Discord to chat with Isaac, Cody, and Cole Henschel at the end of it. I will quickly, as we wait for them, give the update that our points leader coming in, Gary Edwards III, he only mustered himself back up into 19th position at the end of that, Jonathan. So he is not going to be the championship leader coming out of this. But I'll hand it over to you, Jonathan, because our winning driver is ready. So we're going to bring Isaac Salas in here, and I'll give you the mic, sir.
All right, let's catch up with them, your winner tonight. Isaac Salas in the 5 car. It's Jonathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Congratulations on the win. Good bounce back for that 5. What were you feeling out front, and were all those cautions kind of helping you over the short run?
Yeah, I mean, of course they help a little bit, dwindle down the laps for sure, but I felt like I had a good rhythm going on that kind of longish run towards the end there, and when the caution came out, man, I was like, oh no, I know he's gonna be, they're gonna be right back on me, but yeah, man, it was a lot of fun, so it was kind of fun to rip around the top here.
And that's exactly what you did. You were pretty much glued to that outside pretty much for the entire race. So what were you feeling up there? Why did it work so well for you? And why did it seem like other cars behind you not be able to run that same line?
I mean, maybe laps, I guess. I've done quite a few here over the years, it feels like. But yeah, I was just ripping it, pretty far in the corner. It felt like in 1 and 2, and it's super easy to go over the cushion there and onto the flat. And yeah, man, I just try to play a nice balancing game of staying in the tack without going over, and also, I guess, like really, really wanting to do good after last week and all the mistakes I've made in the past couple weeks to, get a win here. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, that's going to do a good job of getting you back in this points battle as well. And great effort starting 5th, bringing home with a checkered flag. Who do you got to thank, Isaac, for the win?
Yeah, big shout outs to all my boys over there at Venom Racing, Dean in the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, JRB Designs for that awesome scheme. Arson Trackside, Mission 22, and everything they do for our veterans. Top Notch Trucking, Shaggy TV, Regency Home Inspections, Mom, Dad, Gramps, Miss Kelser, which I hope you guys get to know out in the living room letting me do this. And other than that, thanks to you guys for the broadcast and the league. And yeah, good run to I believe it's the Codys behind me. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a great run indeed, and congratulations once again. There is Isaac Salas, your winner tonight from Lucas Oil Speedway. I'll give you the chance to talk with P2 tonight, Cody Higbee, Joe.
Sounds like a plan, brother, and we are going to get him back in. We're used to talking to him, but for the first time with the Southern Tier Elite Series, Cody Higbee, my name's Joe Donahue. Got you up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Cody, it's good to hear your voice again. I'm going going to be honest, I'm a little surprised. It's the third race in that we are talking to you for the first time, but you're in the swing of what we are used to seeing out of you and here in iRacing. I'm sure it feels good to get back up here.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys again. Anthony put this league together, and I knew it would be tough. We got so many guys in here that can win on a given basis, and Lucas. I'd say Lucas isn't really one of my strong suits, but the invert kind of just played right, and I was able to start up front and just maintain enough to stay up there.
Well, if I recall correctly, I believe the last time that we broadcasted from this racetrack, you were in the hunt for a win as well. So maybe something about this race, whether it's your favorite or not. I felt like we had a bit of a hill to get over throughout this race with all the start and go of those yellows, and it looked like you didn't quite have the short run car that Isaac Salas had during all of those restarts. Could you maybe explain your perspective on that?
Yeah, I feel like I couldn't get good starts. When I was out front, I can get a good start, but just starting second, he got such a good jump every time, and every restart, I tried to time it different, and I was happy to see single file there too. That helped me a little bit, but yeah, I just it was tough. It's such a demanding track. You got to be so easy on the gas pedal, and it's just hard to maintain on those restarts, and it's so easy to fire off and spin the tires. So I was really trying to be easy on it, but Isaac was getting such a good start that he would just leg me. But yeah, he ran a great race. I knew he was going to be tough. He's really good on here, and like I said before, I feel like Lucas isn't really one of my strong suit tracks, but I guess it's pretty similar to some of the Northeast tracks we have. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
It's pretty solid, yeah, and I definitely think the name of the game was patience on the throttle pedal because this racetrack slicked off pretty quickly early on. Do you think that if the racetrack had maybe been a little bit tackier, maybe a little bit more dynamic at the end, you would have had something maybe that you could have put to Isaac Salas? Because we really started getting regulated to pretty much only a one-line racetrack for most of the way up to those last few laps.
Yeah, maybe a little more moisture in the track would have helped. But, I mean, even at the end there, I was searching around. I found a pretty good line in 3 and 4 I got comfortable with. I was just talking to Cole about it. I was like a lane down from the top, and there was a couple patches off of 4 I can catch and get a decent run. But Isaac, he was just pretty much checked out. And I was really just hoping for him to go over the edge in 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. And that was really my only shot.
Well, unfortunately, Isaac Salas was pretty surgical up at the front, but you did a fantastic job, Cody Higbee, to hold down the fort. You made a couple passes you needed to, and second place is none too shabby for that, number 97. Who do you want to thank and shout out here on the broadcast for getting yourself back on the podium for the first time in this series?
Yeah, I want to shout out Anthony for putting all the work in to make this league, and you guys for coming on board and broadcasting for us. I know a lot of people that watch it, and yeah, just shout out to everybody that's watching, and tune back in next week. I look forward to it.
All right. I didn't have to say it myself. Cody Higbee put the plug in for us. Thank you, Cody. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that is your second place finisher this evening, Cody Higbee, driver of the number 97. Always great to talk to him. And Jonathan, I'm going to hand you the third place driver. Last week interviewed as the winner, and this time we're going to get his name right from the get-go, Cole Henschel.
All right, Mr. Henschel, congratulations. Another podium after missing week 1, following up race 2 with a win, and then a podium. It's got to feel pretty good to get yourself right back in this mix, even with one race missing.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, it's a track that I've always struggled at, so it was good to be able to get up there and race with Cody. Didn't really get a race with Isaac because he was checked out, but yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
Cole, I got to ask, because you started 6th, you dropped back a little bit. Lowest point was 8th. You got back up to a podium spot. How difficult was it to make passes out there? It really seemed like the high side was the place where everybody wanted to be, and if you weren't able to take advantage of maybe somebody slipping up in front of you, you just kind of were stuck trying to throw sliders, and it didn't always work. But you seemed to make it work the best out of most of the guys.
Yeah, you know, early on I was able to run the middle a little bit, but right when I got to 4th, you know, I feel bad for coming up on Dean's nose, but sometimes you just got to do that, and as long as you're clear, you know, that's kind of my motto. If you can clear them, that's fair game. You know, you never want to put someone in a bad position, but you got to go for it, especially when you're trying to run to the front on a slick track like this.
Another podium finish from the 3-car. Who do you want to shout out for the effort?
Yeah, my buddies Matt and JB were always racing together. My parents were watching tonight. That was pretty cool, and so was my girlfriend out in Kentucky. So shout out to all of them.
There he is, Cole Henschel, coming off a win last week. Backs it up with a third-place effort here tonight at Lucas Oil. And Joe, what can I say, man? This is a topsy-turvy league, man. It is upside down and every which way.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Jonathan. Topsy-turvy. But tonight, the one that I will say, I think as topsy-turvy as this series has been in the first couple of races, I think Isaac Salas was getting... He stopped being topsy-turvy. He just stopped being a topsy-turvy driver tonight. He's been fast. He's been at the front in both of the previous features we've had. And tonight he finally just was able to get from start to finish and hold things together. I remember the very beginning of the 2024 to 25 season that we broadcasted with Dominic Roselli and Anthony Roselli coming in for the first time. That was Dominic Roselli. That was the story of him. He could get up front, he could be there, and then something would happen and he'd fall back. And it just took him a few weeks to get to the point where he could contend at the end, and then it took a few extra weeks from there to get a victory. But once you crack it, once you figure out how to do that, it opens the floodgates. So I would wonder if maybe this is the last week before it stays consistent, and maybe if Isaac Salas is going to be part of that consistency, as we'll bring up the unofficial results here. Salas beats Higbee and Henschel. We talked to the three of them. Dirkar Dean Reynolds was spoiling the picture of the podium at the end of the race, but he comes fourth. And then Dominic Roselli is going to end up with the top 5. You've got Kenny Coe, Anthony Roselli, Hunter Lapp, Bo Kerbo fought his way back up there, and Jason Henry going to round out your top 10. Then you've got Matthew Schultz in 11th, Michael Vitale in 12th, Matt DeRitter 13th. Not the best night for the 03 car, but given the circumstance, I guess it's kind of a rebound. Jeff Sharp ends up 14th, 15th for Jesse Hedges. Brendan Finley could have definitely been further up in the grid had he not gotten into his own quarrels tonight, 16th for him. Brian Lawson will end up 17th. Then you've got Edward Owens in 18th. Gary Edwards, like I said, 19th. He came into tonight as the points leader. He will not leave as the points leader. I can almost guarantee that off rip. And Dylan Smith rounds out your top 20 with not a great performance for him. Anthony Vitale, 21st at the end with Mikey Horton, 22nd. Richard Ritchie, 23rd. And Chad Lackey, really tough break, really tough break, because he does not deserve, or at least the 24th finishing position does not represent the night that he had very well. But that's the rundown, Jonathan, with Salas, Higbee, and Cole Henschel. Would you say you're surprised by the podium or not?
I think I'm surprised. I think this is for lack of a better term, I'll say this is the problem with this league, is that there's too many good drivers. So to me, I feel like when I look at the point standings as they run right now, we know Gary Edwards is going to take a hit here. Anthony Perego did not show up for this one. So, unless this is going to be a drop race for him long term, not sure what that program is for the rest of the season for the 44. That could affect that. But Anthony Roselli had not his best night. Still a great effort. Dominic Roselli was a top 5 driver. Hunter Lapp had good moments. Dean Reynolds gets himself a top 5. But then you see Dylan Smith came into the night 8th in points. He struggled tonight. Brendan Finley came in 9th in points. He struggled. Isaac Salas came in 11th. He wins. Cody Higbee was 13th in points going into tonight. Cole Henschel, comes in after missing week 1, wins. He was 14th in points. He's going to, elevate himself up the standings. I think, if anything, it just feels like the season got thrown more so in a blender tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm just wondering if we're going to see it not. But you mentioned that problem. That is a heck of a problem to have. Imagine you have too many good drivers coming out for your iRacing League. That's just the level that we are at with the Southern Tier Elite Series right now. So that's the show from Lucas Oil Speedway. And, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll tally the points. And then when you come out with us next time, we will run the points down and get you up to speed on what's going on there. Next time out is 1 week's time from now. As the schedule comes up on your screen to check in, we will be going to Lanier for a 50-lap feature. Lanier is always a fantastic show as well for these big block modifieds from the past broadcasts that Jonathan and I have been part of. So we'll be looking forward to 1 week's time from here, right here live on BRP TV to show you that event. We want to thank Cacti Fabrication, BRP TV, Hig Fab Chassis, Precision Engine Service, Savage House Performance, Vertex Graphics, Murder Graphics, MDR Designs, the Inkvine Company, Creative Turnings, 47 Technology, and the Southern Ontario Dirt Show for helping put the show together and put us out on stage tonight. I want to thank Anthony Roselli for bringing everybody together this evening. Congratulations again to Isaac Salas for the first victory with this series in this season. And on behalf of Matt DeRitter and Jonathan Howe with BRP TV, I'm Joe Donahue. The Southern Tier Elite Series will take 1 week hiatus and come back again at Lanier next time. So you're going to want to hit the bell icon so that you know when the stream is scheduled and going live here on YouTube to check out that race. But in the meantime, hope everybody stays safe and hopefully gets their Christmas shopping done by the next time we talk.